Hello everyone, Firemaster MT here, and welcome to Season 3 of the Classy Pokemon Wi-Fi League, or the CPL for short. And today, I am showing off my team for the San Francisco Celebis. Alright, and before I start with the draft breakdown, I just want to give a huge shout out to our good friend Bread Pudding Official for making the draft template for us. Couldn't have done this without him. Anyways, on to the draft breakdown. Alright, so to start off, I went with my S tier first, and that one ended up being Clefable. Clefable, well, the reason I picked it because I needed a fairy type. I wanted to use it because I wanted to try it on a draft league format. It's a good wish passer, pretty good defensively, it could be a cleric, and it also has pretty good options with like Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt. Can also be a decent Calm Mind sweeper if I can get it to sweep potentially. But I think most of the time I'll be using it defensively. It does have really good abilities with both Magic Guard so I can absorb status, and Unaware to stop sweepers in their tracks. And hopefully it'll come in clutch for me. Anyways, with my tier 2, I decided to actually go with a Defogger because I really needed a Defogger. And I chose Mandibuzz this time around. The reason I chose Mandibuzz was because I needed a dark type, also granted me a flying type as well. Not only does it get access to Defog, also reliable recovery with Roost. It also has access to Toxic, so if I need Toxic, I could poison my opponents like bulky types or just anything in general. It also has access to Foul Play to punish physical attackers. It also has access to knockoff, so I can also remove items off like anything really, especially any bulky Pokemon with leftovers. And hopefully, yeah, with this, hopefully I can like get rid of hazards, punish physical attackers, and just maybe potentially status things with Toxic. Anyways, with my next pick, I did decide to go for tier 1. And for tier 1, I felt like I needed an electric type, something that would hit pretty hard, and I decided to go with Raikou. Raikou, I feel like Raikou, yeah, with pretty good special attack, awesome speed, it can hit really hard with its electric type attacks. I can Thunderbolt, Volt Switch if I need to. Thankfully, it gets access to Scald now, so I can punish ground types, potentially burn them. Also has access to Aura Sphere and Shadow Ball. Not only that, I can potentially sub Calm Mind, potentially get a sweep going with it, and hopefully, yeah, I can hit things on the special side pretty hard with Raikou, and looking forward to using it. Now, for my fourth pick, I did decide to go for another tier 2, and I did have a water type in mind, so I ended up going with Milotic. Milotic, the reason I picked it was because, obviously, love my bulky waters. This thing has really good, reliable recovery with Recover. Also has access to Scald, so I can burn physical attackers. Ice Beam for grass types, dragons, anything that's weak to ice. Also has access to Flip Turn. Yeah, with that, with Mandibuzz being able to U-turn, I can do like a pseudo Volt Turn strategy. Also has access to Dragon Tail as well, in case I do want to use hazards as well. Start phasing my opponent's Pokemon, get that extra chip in, and start doing damage. Oh yeah. Oh, and before I forget it, yeah, with it being usually wall, I have access to Marble Scale. I'd have to combine it with like a Flame Orb, so that way I can't be like Toxic status. And then if I want to go especially offensive with this thing, it does have competitive for potential Intimidate, Sticky Web shenanigans, and hopefully I can punish any stat reducers as well, go for damage. Anyways, my next pick, I believe I did want to go for a tier 3, and also I wanted to go for a steel type, so Registeel. Registeel. The reason I drafted it was obviously I needed the steel type. Not only that, Registeel can be pretty good defensively, whether it's physical, special, has access to Stealth Rocks. I could Toxic, add Toxic into its moveset. Not only that, I can like potentially punish fairy types with heavy slam. I think that's the move that I'll be using most of the time with Registeel, assuming there's fairy types on the opposing team. Not only that, I can also run Iron Defense Body Press, assuming there's no ghost types on the team. And yeah, looking forward to using this. It'll like help me out, give synergy with Clefable and one of my other picks later down the road. Yeah, but I felt like, yeah, Clefable and Registeel, good synergy, and part of my Steel Fairy Dragon Core. Anyways, on to the next pick, Runerigus. The reason I picked Runerigus was because I needed a ground type. I was really lacking in the ground department. I really don't want to be giving none of the teams the ability to freely Volt Switch and get any chip off on my team. And then also, this also grants me a ghost type that I can use as a potential spin blocker for any spinners on the opposing team. And this thing will be really fun to use. Aside from like being physically defensive, I can also run potential Trick Room, but also it has access to Stealth Rocks, T-Spikes, I could Will-O-Wisp, Earthquake things, I could also run a Rest Sleep Talk set, and even like Registeel, I could also do Iron Defense Body Press shenanigans, so this thing will be really fun to use. Grants me hazards, defensive, ghost type, spin blocker, ground type. Alright, and moving on to the next pick, I needed a dragon type this time around. I was gonna go for something like Goodra or Flygon, but before it got to me, those Pokemon were already picked by other people, so I had to look elsewhere. And there was nothing in the lower tiers that I wanted, so I had to go to A tier and pick. And I ended up going with Dragonite. Dragonite, oh man. I feel like this thing's gonna be really versatile for me. I can run physical, special, mixed. With multi-scale, I can definitely like take a hit. And if I can combine it with a weakness policy, I can just potentially punch holes through the opposing teams. But then if I want to get creative, I can run special, mixed, potentially defensive with Roost. And yeah, pretty much hard hitter, really versatile, and it grants me a dragon type, and looking forward to using it in Draft League. Anyways, at this point in the draft, I decided to go for my tier 4 and 5 respectfully, and for tier 4, I felt like I needed a grass type. At this point, I was like, okay, I need a grass type, and I decided to go with Vileplume. Vileplume, aside from being a grass type, also grants me a poison type as well to potentially get rid of toxic spikes if my opponent has it. Not only that, it also grants me another way of dealing with fairies aside from Registeel. And not only that, I can run potentially Effect Spore, Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is, yeah, I'll mention my next pick later because I do have a bit of a Sun Core. And with this, I could Strength Sap. I believe it gets Aromatherapy, so I have another Cleric aside from Clefable. And it has a pretty good special attack stat, so I could potentially punish Bulky Waters if they think that they could deal with my team. And yeah, I'm looking forward to using Vileplume. Anyways, at this point for tier 5, I decided to look into a fighting type, and I decided to go with Drow. Drow, gonna be an interesting Pokemon for me to use. I could have picked any other fighting type, but I decided to go with Drow. Reason why is because it has at least some decent bulk, take a couple hits. Not only that, I can run it as a physical attacker with bulk up, access to knockoff, and Circle Drow. Circle Drow combined with hazards from either Clefable with Stealth Rocks, Registeel with Rocks, and Runerigus with Rocks and T-Spikes. I can potentially poison my opponents with T-Spikes, make them phase them into other things, get that chip from Stealth Rocks, and yeah, I can use it either defensively and use it as a potential attacker as well. So yeah, looking forward to using Drow. and hopefully it'll help me out. Anyways, like I mentioned earlier with Vileplume, I decided to get a little bit of a Sun Core, but not necessarily because I wanted to run Sun again, but because I really needed a Fire type, and I wanted to draft something that would hit really hard. I did want to go Darmanitan, but unfortunately it was already picked before it got to me, so I decided to go with Ninetales Cantonian. Alright, so fun fact, this is not my first time drafting this Pokemon. I did draft it in the very first season of CPL that I participated in, and I felt like it did pretty well, and I saw no other fire types that I wanted to use, so I decided to go with Ninetales. It's not the most hard-hitting thing right off the bat. I know Nasty Plot could be a thing, but I would like to switch it up potentially, like, aside from just making it just pure Nasty Plot, I could always just run maybe Will-O-Wisp, maybe like some kind of support Ninetales, but I think most of the time I'm going to be using this as an offensive fire type. Get those sun boosted Fire Blast, instant Solar Beams, and whatever else I need to do with it. So, looking forward to using it again, and yeah. Anyways, on to the last pick. At this point in the draft, I needed to pick another tier 5. I was going to pick a Pokemon for the memes, but then I decided, you know what? I think I need to look into something that can really help me out. And the thing that I noticed was I was lacking a Psychic type, so I decided to go with Beheeyem. So Beheeyem, gonna be one of those Pokemon that might be a bit hard to use just because it's so slow. I think my opponents would just try to go for damage or just straight up kill it before it gets to do anything. But if I can use this thing properly, maybe set up Trick Room, and potentially I can maybe Trick Room sweep my opponent's team, assuming I can get rid of any potential Dark types, Ghost types, anything that could just get in Beheeyem's way. So I think, yeah, pretty good coverage options. I have a Trick Room mode going for me, and yeah, Psychic type. And with that, that is my draft team analysis for Season 3 of the CPL. Hopefully you guys look forward to the Draft League content that I'll be posting, and if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.